Welcome to the funnel.
Let's have some facts.
Good morning, Josh,
Good morning, Ian.
and welcome to the fact funnel.
Hmm.
You know, Josh, I was thinking this morning when I woke up in my bed, why am I awake and not just dead?
That's a great question, Ian, and one that millions of Americans have wondered over generations. It brings to thought the phrase deep sleep.
Deep sleep? What does that mean?
Well, it refers to how when one falls asleep, they become heavier.
You know, that reminds me that Thomas Edison actually discovered during his experiments that people will get heavier the longer they sleep.
Indeed, just like a baby elephant.
That's so true. You know, it's shocking to think that only 20 years ago, in 1993, people were not allowed to show beds on television because they were too dangerous.
Indeed. It wasn't until scientists discovered the incredible machine of today, the spring, that they were finally able to keep humans from sinking deep into the abyss of the Earth's core.
Wow, science teaches us things, and yet it also helps us know things.
Wow.
You know, thanks to science, I can count the number of times people have died on mattresses on one hand.
On one hand? Where does that come from?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Actually, the term was coined by famous French president Napoleon Bonaparte. You see, Napoleon was out in the field with his men, shooting cannons at the other French people. But then he realized there were a lot of cannons, but he was still smart enough to count them on one of his hands.
Unfortunately, Napoleon had lost a finger, so when he boasted of this, it was not very impressive, as he could only count to 3 instead of 4.
But you see, even then, it still became an impressive show of your knowledge and wisdom to be able to count the number of something on one hand.
You know, once the calculator was invented by Albert Einstein, people no longer had to count on their hands.
That's true, but interestingly, the expression remained in our vocabulary.
Amazing.
It is truly shocking. I mean, even though we've come so far from where we once were, we're still using these old phrases throughout the English language, which came from the French, like Napoleon.
Just like, where are my tater tots?
Yes. Speaking of tater tots, you know, I was walking through the cafeteria the other day, and I thought, you know, I feel like a fish out of water in this place. Have you heard that phrase before?
I have, and it brings to mind a question. And that question is, where did that phrase come from?
Oh, you know, I'm really glad you asked that question, because it's a really fascinating story. You see, in the 1800s, all the paintings of fish were incredibly bad.
Fish paintings had become so bad that they were outlawed by the state of Florida and England.
That's so true. Those two states performed a very powerful alliance against fish paintings until famed Dutch painter Rembrandt. You see, Rembrandt was from Denmark, the famous Dutch country, and he realized while he was swimming in one of Denmark's famous canals that he could see the fish much better under the water. So, one day he just brought his paintbrush and his easel down into the water and painted a fish. And when he came out, it was the most amazing fish painting anyone had ever seen.
Funnily enough, this led to the invention of watercolor.
Indeed. The watercolor was the only kind of paint that would not dissolve in the water. But Rembrandt wanted to leave us with an important lesson on where we had come from. So, he created the popular snack goldfish to remind us what paintings of fish used to look like.
This also reminds me of my other favorite snack, whales.
This has been the Fact Funnel.
Thank you for tuning in. Next time, let us fill your head with more facts.
And a funnel.